Hi, my name is Tammy and I am a textile artist. And in today's video, I am going to be going over the AccuQuilt Glorified 9-patch bob die. So I liked this die when I saw it because the 9-patch is one of my favorite blocks. And I like the fact that the block has the curved edges. So I have been afraid of sewing curves. And so I thought, you know what? Let me buy this die. Let me try it out. It has the notches. And maybe that'll help me gain some confidence with sewing these blocks. So what I very quickly discovered is yes, cutting the glorified 9-patch using the AccuQuilt bob die is helpful with the notches, but also I noticed that I needed more than just those notches to be successful. So I tried several different glue methods, and that is my number one hack with this die is that it is very for me, it's very important to use a glue method to help secure the edges of the fabric together prior to sewing. And I see, let's see. Hi, S. Lopez. Thank you for joining me today. And I also see Tree Chickens. Hello, thank you for joining me. And so just a little quick recap. I am starting off with the Glorified 9-patch, which is, hey, Jenny, which is a, hi, Jenny. So let's see, let me change the camera angle here. All right. So this is the Glorified 9-patch die, so bob or block on board die by AccuQuilt. And the reason why I selected this die for today's live is because it includes sewing curves. Now, I like the glorified patch because the 9-patch because it's a cool patch, but I also was enjoying the fact that these curves were available for me to practice my skills. So what I very quickly learned is that the notches are helpful, but in addition to the notches, I needed a gluing method. So I tried all sorts of glue. Hang on a second. I tried Elmer's glue, you know, the white glue that you use for grade school. I tried several type of glues, but I settled on, let's see, let me give you a close up. I settled on this glue, which is called Acorn Precision Piecing Fabric Glue. And it looks like this. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. That's a good shot. So the Acorn Precision Piecing Products or glue. And I purchased this glue from Fat Quarter Shop. So let me show you the die, and I'll show you all the elements that we use to complete this die. And then I am going to do something I'm very nervous about, which is glue live here and sew this together. So here we go. I see that Marge has joined us. Hi, welcome. And hey, quilting friends, I love it. So let's go ahead and let me show you the die. So this right here is the packaging that comes with the die. And this is what it looks like here. And then this is the back side. And I found this to be a very attractive die. That's why I purchased it. And then here are the instructions, which I actually followed because at first it seemed to be a complicated block, but it was not once I cut it out and sewed the block a few times. This die will actually fit through the Go Me. So let me show you that really fast. And most of the bob dies or the block on board dies require the Go or the Go Big, but this one fits through the Go Me. So as you can see here, this is my Go Me. It's the older one. I have not purchased that new one that they say is easier to, whatever they say is easier. I ain't buying it because I already have Go Big Electric, and I'm not buying any more machines. But as you can see here, this just fits very nicely through this Go Me. And so what I did, or what I do whenever I sew this block, is I just put all my fabric and cut it in one pass through the Go Me. Very convenient. So this is one that, for those of you who only have a Go Me, this is a wonderful bob to have. Let me put this back here. So that's the die. And so when you cut out the pieces, the elements, they look like this. So for the block that we're doing today, I just selected some random colors. Again, I have this grunge fabric that I am trying to get rid of. And I was thinking about camera angles and the ability to see what I'm doing. So that's why I selected the black, because once I add the glue, you'll be able to see that better on camera. So in order to make one block of the Glorified 9 patch, you need 4 of these pieces. And what I like about all of AccuQuilt's recent dies is that they screen print the letters of the elements on the die, so that when you are using the instructions to piece the block together here, where it says B and A, you just know to pick your A and B from the die. So in order to make one block, we need one element of A, which is this one. So that went here. And then we need 4 pieces of the B, and that came from this area. And then we need 4 of these letters C's, and then that got cut here. And then we need 4 of the D's, that's this black, and they got cut there. So I just, again, arranged everything on the die, cut it through with one, or put it through the Go Me one time, one pass, and cut out all of these elements. So this is, so what I did was I didn't want to sew the whole block live because it would take probably longer than you guys are willing to hang out with me. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time and your support. It truly means a lot to me. So here are the units. So this section here, this is, let me take this off because then it'll be easier for me to call out the shapes. How are you guys doing today? I'm feeling a little slow. I think it's because, I mean, here I'm in Southern California and it is going to be 111, I think, today. And this is like our 4th day in a row of like over 100. And I know that was Arizona or Nevada. One of those states have been like over 100 for like 2 months. So I don't want to be a diva and complain, but it's kind of a lot for me. The heat is draining. So I'm feeling a little slow, but I did have coffee so I could be energetic for you here on live. So this unit here, this unit is comprised of this shape A, and then 2, you can see it better here. There we go. So this unit is shape A, which is here, and then 2 of the B's. So that is the center unit. And then the top and the bottom of the unit, same configuration, but it is, so each one has one B, which is this one, and then it also has the letter C here, and then another C here. And you just basically piece it together, 1/4 inch seam, typical rules of quilting. So once you have sewn your elements together and you have your 3 units, I just sewed everything together to complete the block. Well, it's not complete. We're still missing those curves. So this is what it looks like when it's all pieced together. And now the magic will start, because I am going to change up the set here a little bit, and I'm going to show you my glue method that I use to create success with sewing these curves. So just give me a moment while I move things out of the way. Need that one out. So the tools or the equipment or supplies you'll need, I have this Riley Blake cutting mat that spins. And I think this one is, I don't know, like maybe the 9-inch. So this is the back side and this is the front side and it spins. And so I typically use this one when I am using my 4-inch cube or I'm cutting up something that is smaller. I like it because I'm not a rotary cutter. I'm not good at it. So because it spins, I'm able to sort of just keep one hand on this and spin it around without making too much of a mess of my block. I see that Bettina has joined us. Hello, Bettina. Thank you so much for joining. Now, the other equipment that you'll need is I just have a washcloth and it's wet. It's not sopping wet because my studio area here would be wet, but it's just nice and wet enough to serve its purpose, which I'll show you in just a second. And then once again, we have this Acorn precision glue, and it looks like, let's see, camera, this is what it looks like. And I purchased it from Fat Quarter Shop. I think it was like $12, $15, $9. I don't remember. So here's the magic. So the key to gluing these curved pieces is to make sure that when you glue it, you are gluing it with the smile. I guess this is a smiley side down. So when I first started constructing this block, once I achieved this level of construction, I stopped reading the instructions. I don't know why, but I did. So I was taking this piece here, and then I was, of course, it looks like this. So you would take wrong sides together. And then I was attempting this procedure, which would be to pin it. Well, I first started off with pinning and I realized that was no good. And then that's when I moved over to the glue. But I started off, because I didn't read the directions, doing this. And so this didn't give me any type of success. So I stopped and I retrieved the instructions, and the instructions say to put the smiley side, call it the smiley side. You put the smiley side down, and then you take your unit here, you flip it over, you match up the notches here, and then those notches match here and here. And then that's how you're able to complete that gentle curve, they call it. So what I'm going to do now is show you my gluing technique. So I'm left-handed, so I'm going to turn it this way. So what I found helpful for me, because I'm left-handed, I find that it's easier for me to start from, I guess, center left. And maybe if you were right-handed, you would go from center to the right. So this glue is amazing. I think this is my second bottle because I use it a lot. So you just take off this, it's like a plasticky cover. And this is really cool because it doesn't dry out if you have this on there properly. So unfortunately, it's difficult for me to zoom in while I'm live with this camera setup. So I am going to go slowly so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see it okay. Now, the trick with using this glue is when you are applying it to the smiley side, you want to stay as close to the edge as possible, like 1/8 of an inch in. Remember, we're going to piece or sew our seam line at that 1/4 inch. So try to keep your glue line 1/8 of an inch or smaller, because that way you will minimize the opportunity for the glue to show on the reverse side. And you'll see what I mean by that once we get through this part. And March says that she loves Acorn glue. Yes, it is fabulous. So this is what I do. So I line up my notch here. And the reason why I have this washcloth is because I was just saying how I apply the glue at the 1/8 of an inch out. So the glue is going to spill over. So what I do is put my fingers here, and I just kind of press. And we're going to do this real time so you can see literally how fast it bonds and how secure it is. So this is my method. I'm giving some pressure. I'm pressing hard, but not so hard that I'm injuring myself. And I really try to hold it. I don't know, maybe I'm holding it for like 10 seconds. I don't know. Now, once you get to this area here, you see how it's starting to crease. What that means is you need to lift this part up and scooch around as such. And let's see, I think this is translating on the camera, but you're basically pulling this way and pressing this way. So you do this, and then you do this. And as you can see, this is the beauty of this cutting mat, is that I can spin it around. So I typically only place enough glue to get me from notch to notch. So I've successfully done that here. So we've started at this center notch, and I've pressed, and we moved around to the next notch. So I'm just going to wipe here. Now, then I just pull this back, and I add more glue here. Again, about 1/8 of an inch in, and then of course it's going to spill over. It won't stay perfect, but and this glue does wash out beautifully. So I am just pressing here. The other thing you'll note, and where this comes in handy, is that your finger will start to get sticky with the glue. So again, I just use the washcloth to wipe off the glue so that I can continue this process. And you can use 2 fingers as such, because what happens is if you don't wipe your finger with the glue, your finger becomes another area for the glue to adhere, and then you'll just end up with a hotter mess than you anticipated, because your finger will stick to the fabric and it'll just be a mess. So I just use this. So as you can see here, this part is all complete. So we have that first notch here. We glued around and around here, second notch, and then to the tip. So then from here, what I do is I just give it a few seconds. Like, this is literally live, so you can see how fast the glue adheres. So from here, I've learned not to pull from this way forward, because if it's not adhered, it comes apart. So I just pull from the non-glue side forward like this, just to unravel it, if you will. And this is what it looks like. So again, you still see that crease there, but it's because the weight is down. So essentially it looks like that. So you can see it's pretty much adhered. So what I'm going to do now is place this other side this way. And then, wait a minute, I get all twisted up with here this way because I'm left-handed. So I'll just go that way. Let's see. So let's see. Marge says, I always use it on my sew and flip blocks. Yes, it is amazing. I love, 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 love this glue. And what did I learn this? I think maybe I was watching a, I need to get another light here. I was watching a Fat Quarter shop live, and I think Kimberly Jolly was using it on one of her blocks. And I was like, oh my stars, I need that in my life, because using Elmer's glue was messy. And all the other, I tried like this the one that AccuQuilt sells, that purple one. It's all right, but like, I don't like it as much. This is the best. The one that they sell is, I wouldn't buy it. I would just stick with this one from Acorn. So as you can see, I'm doing the same procedure. I'm just sort of going at that notch there, matching it up, and then pressing down. And then my seam here is falling apart, but that's because I didn't backstitch. And so I'm just pressing. I'm using my one finger. And you can see this little technique I'm doing in that with my left hand, I'm holding up this part of the block. And then with my right finger, I am pressing down, and I'm starting to get some stickiness, because as I remove my finger, the fabric is coming up with. So just like that. Now I'm at that next notch. So what I'll do is scooch this over, and that is not there adhering. So I'm at the next notch. So I'll stop, apply more glue. And what's happening now is I didn't apply enough glue. So it's lifting, it's not completely adhering. So I'm just putting more glue. And again, you can, man, I need to have another, to figure out this camera angle. I'm new at this live streaming stuff. But let's see. Yikes, that's going to be. So you can, oh, there we go. You can kind of see there, of course, the fabric touched down, but you could just see right there where I just put 1/8 of an inch, not 1/8 of an inch, but 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And so, of course, this is just it's just making a mess here. But if you were doing this for your quilt project, you would take more time and care. But I am doing it for demonstration purposes. So I just want to get it done. And so again, I'm just using my finger to sort of, or I'm sorry, using this washcloth to get this excess glue off, and then I wipe it there. And then at the end of each block, I literally like use a little bit of Dawn soap and water and just clean the top of this mat, because it does build up over time and then it reactivates and it just becomes a mess. So as you can see, ta-da, look at this. It's all glued together. So this is the front side, and then this is the back side. So this is what I was talking to you about, having all the extra glue. So you can see here where the glue is still shiny and you can still see it. And it does dry, not a little off. It's clear, but you can see the remnant. So when I finish a block like this, you'll see when I stitch it and then when I press it, you'll see the remnants of the glue. That's another opportunity to use your washcloth and just go ahead and just go over the top where the glue is before it dries. And then you can remove the residue from your block, or you can just not fuss about it because it will wash out. So you can complete your quilt. And then when you wash it, all the glue will wash out and you won't have any remnants. So I am done with the glue. So I'm just going to put the cap back on because we're just going to sew one side. Not going to do all 4 sides. Let's see. Bettina says that you use glue sticks as well. And then thumbs up. Thank you. S. Lopez. And then, hey, Love Bugs. Love Bug says, I've used that for flip and stitch corners, but never would have thought to use it for a curved block. Oh, you're learning something new today, are you? All right, cool. Let's see. S. Lopez says, idea maybe use a stiletto to help press the fabric together. Yes. One moment, please. Let me show you my favorite stiletto. Hang on. And yes, I could do that as well. I typically do that, but I didn't want to get too fancy. But since you brought it up, I will. So this right here is my favorite stiletto. And it is, ooh, that would have been dangerous. It's the stiletto by Annie.com. And I love the stiletto because you have this part of the stiletto, but you also have, look, this area here where you can press. So this is how I do it. So had we been, actually, maybe I'll do another side. Let's do another side because this will dry, no problem. Let's do another one so I can show you how I use this particular stiletto. And hey, Taisha from Virginia, welcome. All right, so let me show you, let's do another side. And let me show you how I would use this stiletto instead of my finger. So again, we would take, the process is you take this smiley side down, and then you take, another thing I learned when you're constructing this block is that when you are adding on your circles, you want to, of course, we just did this side, but instead of I mean, I guess it's common sense, but it wasn't common to me when I did it the first time because I made a mess. But instead of like, so we just did this side. So instead of going like to this portion, you want to do the opposite side. I know, but for me, it didn't occur to me until it did. So start from scratch. So you have this here, and then I like to start from notch to notch. And so again, just a little bit under 1/8 of an inch. And then it's like I kind of scooch it around, as you can see here, just to spread it a little bit. Sometimes I'm heavy handed with the glue and I just don't care. And I just put a lot of it. And then other times I spend more effort in spreading the glue. So we're here. And then we take this notch right here. And so using the stiletto, I take this end here. Actually, well, you see what I just did? I just dropped the whole thing in the glue. Oh, it didn't touch. That's great. So here, with the stiletto, you're going to use this bevel or this angle in here, and you'll just press like that. I don't know if you can see, but what I'm doing is I'm just pressing down, and I'm left-handed again. So for me, it's more comfortable to go this way. So I press, and then when you get to about this area, let's see, you just lift and press and hold for a few seconds, press and hold, press and hold, press and hold. And the same concept applies with your finger as it does with the end of the stiletto. I'm just going to wipe this because it too gets sticky. So, and this is shellacked. Is that still a thing? Shellacked? This is shellacked. So the wood is covered. So if it gets moist, it doesn't damage the wood. So again, when you get to this area where you see it starting to crease, that is your moment when you know you need to lift and stabilize the opposite end of the block. And you just continue this pressing method here. And I'm at that next notch area here. And this one's going to be off a little, I can already tell. At the next notch area, so I'll just put this down or wipe it before it dries. And then I go in and I just put like at the 1/8 of an inch here. And again, the 1/8 of an inch is so that you decrease the amount of glue that is in your 1/4 inch seam allowance when you piece it together. So you just do that and you go back in with that stiletto and you just press here and then you press here and just scooch it around. You don't, I actually like to lift it and not drag it. In my mind, I'm thinking if I'm dragging it, then I am creating bias stretch. So to minimize bias stretch when you're using a stiletto or even your fingers, because you can get kind of heavy handed and just start pulling on the fabric. I recommend lifting and moving so that you don't bias stretch the fabric. So here we are, and we're doing this and this, and this is going to be off, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. And what I found is that at first I was really concerned about matching up the notches 100% because I'm like, oh, and so if it's off by like 1/8, you just trim it when you trim your block. So this is what this side looks like that. Okay. Okay. Smart says, what are your overall thoughts on the dye you're using? I've considered purchasing it, but afraid I might not actually use it. I like it. I actually like it. I do like it because it goes through the Go Me. And that's, I mean, I have the Go Big and the Studio Cutter, but it's user friendly. I also like the Disappearing 9 Patch is one of my favorite blocks. And it finishes, oh, that's what I didn't mention. That will be helpful. It finishes to a 9-inch block. So one of the reasons why I purchased this is that when I started investing in the cube system, I started off with the 9-inch cube system first. And so I said, oh, well, let me get bob dies that are compatible with my 9-inch cube system or cube sets. So that was the main reason why one of the main reasons why I selected this 9 patch. So I have, right now I have the 12-inch, 6-inch, 9-inch, and 4-inch cube sets. And so when I purchased the bobs, I try to, actually, I'm 100%, I make sure that the bobs that I purchase will actually go with my cube set. So if you have the 9-inch cube and you use it, then this is a wonderful companion bob die for that 9-inch cube set. Does that make sense? All right, let's see here. So let's regroup. We have we've glued on one edge of our curve. We've glued on half of the other one. And I am going to now bring Luigi to the show, and we are going to sew that 1/4-inch seam down the one side of the smiley face so that we can complete the block. Let's see. Marsh says, that's an excellent idea. Never considered that. Yeah, you know, these dies are definitely an investment. So whether you buy the bobs or the cube system, they are an investment. And so I really think hard before I purchase them, because I'm like, I don't want to, like, say for instance, they have bobs that finish to a 10-inch. I don't own the 10-inch cube. So as much as I may love a 10-inch bob die, I am not buying it because I'm not buying a 10-inch cube. I think I'm satisfied with having the 12-inch cube, the 9-inch cube, the 6 and the 4. So I don't plan on investing at this time, investing on any more cubes. So unless it's a 6-inch or a 9-inch or a 12-inch bob, I'm not buying it. Because why? I don't want to. All right, let me cap off the glue here so that it doesn't dry out. And actually, like any other glue, I just wipe the tip off and just put this back on. Move this out of the way, and let's see. We have Picola Chase. Hi, welcome. You have it and still have not used it. This gives you more information. Yes, you got to pull it out and use it. It's an amazing bob die. And again, that's that acorn glue. This is the secret. So the #1 hack is to use this acorn glue. You can use a stick. Glue sticks are fine. I don't have the patience for glue sticks though, because I was finding that with the glue stick, I went back to kindergarten in my head and I was just doing this with it, and I was like, that's not the way to go. I found that you needed to sort of use the glue. And Bettina, I know that you use glue, so maybe you can chime in. Glue sticks, I know Bettina uses glue sticks, so you can chime in and let us know. But I found that with using a glue stick, I needed to go on that edge, and I just didn't have the patience for it. So I just fell in love with acorn and only use that. All right, let's see. Tree says, you do the same thing. Your bobs fit with your cube sets. Yeah, it's a pretty thoughtful choice. So let me bring out Luigi. One moment, please, while I grab him, and then we'll get going here. All right, this is Luigi. He is my Singer featherweight. He's going to join us today. And I have Juan Pablo over here. You know, Juan Pablo's been like, I want to get on live. I want to get on YouTube. And I'm like, you're too heavy for me to pick on and off the table. So you just stay over there, Juan Pablo. No, you cannot come out to play. And Edna is still in the garage. I think that I am going to take the jump and invest in a long arm machine. That is like, as I say it and it comes out of my mouth, I'm excited but scared and all of the above, because I'm going to get the 10-foot frame. So essentially that 10-foot frame will be in this space where I'm live streaming. So I'm a little nervous about that, because I'm like, I like my live streaming backdrop and I don't know what to do, but I'm pretty sure that I will get casters for that 10-foot frame. Did I say 10-inch? 10 foot 10-foot frame. I'll get the casters, and I have hardwood floors, so I'll be able to roll it out of the way and we can still have this beautiful backdrop. All right, let's see here. Bettina says that she has the 10-inch cube and the Aditya Star specialty cube. Okay, nice, nice. Aditya Star, doesn't she, aren't her projects more, are her dies more intricate? Like she has more advanced level dies. Is that correct? I think that was my understanding. But her work, her dies are beautiful. They really are. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to move this stiletto because I've done this before and it hurts. And my iron is fired up for pressing, and here we go. So this is what it, now see here you can see, remember how I was saying like when it dries, it's clear, but it, say ashy. It looks a little dry here. And you can remove that. It comes out when you wash your project, it comes out and you'll never see it. Or you can use a washcloth or moisten it some kind of way to get rid of it. But this is what it looks like. And as you see here, it's all dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece this proper way. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So I do have it correct. I will upgrade and try some of Aditya Star one day in my quilting career, because why not? I want to challenge myself. Love Puck says, due to space constraints, I had to go with the 10-foot frame. I also roll my out when I need to use it. Yeah. You know, Love Pucks, what machine do you have, by the way? I may have asked you that before, but what do you have? The 12-foot frame, it just, I don't know that it's net. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see me doing, I probably will do queen size quilts because my mom has some that she wants me to do. And what I'm told is that a king size quilt will fit on a 10-foot frame, although it'll be tight. So if you have experience with that, let me know in the comments before, because I haven't purchased it yet. I'm just thinking about it. But I think I'm set with the 10-foot frame. So let me know. Okay. So Love Puck says that she has the Avante by Handy Quilter. Okay. Looking at that one, actually. How do you like it? Because that's what I'm looking at. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to move forward here, and I'm going to piece. Now, the tricky part of this is that when I first started sewing this, I'm like, how do I stitch a curve? And really, you're just stitching straight on your 1/4-inch seam. It's just you have to manipulate the fabric a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So you just go in here, and since this is demonstration, I'm not going to lock. Well, actually, I can. I need to get in the habit of locking my seams, because sometimes I don't, and then I end up in trouble when they start coming apart at the edge. So here is, let's see if I can get a better angle. I have to learn how to work my equipment so I can bring you guys closer in. But you can see what my hands are doing. So you see my left hand is basically supporting the weight of the block. And then my right hand, my middle finger, is making sure that as it goes through, that is kind of staying at that 1/4 inch. So what I do is when I get to this point of the block, I just lift up and make sure that this isn't going underneath the needle. So I just take a quick look and go here. So again, you can see this left hand is making sure that that part of the block is not getting sewn in. And then my right hand, my middle finger, you can use whatever finger, but this is my dominant finger, is just supporting, making sure that, and I go slow with this. There's no need to rush. That's why I like this featherweight. It allows me to kind of go slow, and I just like vintage machines. I'm using that as an excuse, but I just like vintage machines. All right. So then every so often, again, I stop, needle down, And I just look to make sure I'm headed in the right direction. And I reposition my hands here. As you can see, I'm just sort of taking that left hand and moving the bulk of the block out of the way. And then here we go. Again, stopping the needle down, looking underneath, making sure I'm pointed in the right direction. I go, I pull this here. We're almost at the home stretch. Stop one more time. And I think I'm in the clear home stretch from here. And then here. And then ta-da, ta-da. Go fast now. Get this off. And let's see, let's cut this. I'm going to move the Ouija out of the way. And then we'll see the results. All right. What are you guys saying? Let's see. Love Puck says you're very happy with it. The largest quilt you've ever done was 92 inches and it was tight but worth it. Okay, is 92 inches, is that like closer to, is 92 inches between queen and king or closer to a king? I'm not sure. And then Tree says, best wishes on your journey to set up a long arm frame machine. Thank you. You don't have the space. I hear you. Like, that thing is going to take up this whole room. And so, yeah, I'm going to miss having open access, but I also will enjoy having the ability to play with finishing my quilts. I have an industrial embroidery machine. So prior to my idea of getting a long arm, I was just using that machine in my largest hoop to do like edge to edge hooping with my embroidery machine to get it done. That worked well until it didn't. And when I say until it didn't, is when I realized I did not like the drag or the bulk of the weight of the project while it was stitching around. I did purchase racks. What's the name of that thing? It is from Designs by Dime, Designs and Machine Embroidery, and it's that suspension thing. Can't think of the name of it. You guys may know it. It's rats. I can't think of the name. Rats Roscoe. I can't think of the name of it. But at any rate, Designs and Machine Embroidery Dime has this weightless quilter. That's what it's called. It's called the weightless quilter, and it's designed for quilting with a domestic machine. So you have, let me do this. So you have like your, well, that doesn't help. You have your machine, and then this weightless quilter suspends the weight of your quilt so that it moves when your machine is moving. And it was cumbersome to use that, so I didn't really like it. So here we are. Let me cut this off. This is what y'all are here for, is to see the results. So here's my seam. This is what it looks like. And then this is ta-da, ta-da. So what I'm going to do is just open it. So when I was talking about using like applying the glue closer to the 1/8 of an inch mark on your block, is because when you open it up, let's see, when you go to press your seam, like right here, as I open this up, you may see some remnant of the glue. So I just start by finger pressing, and I finger press from the top of the block and not the back, and I just sort of roll it open. And again, sometimes if you are aggressive, and actually I use this stiletto by Annie to press it out this way, and you just kind of scooch it around here like this, and then it makes it easier when you go to your iron. So here, and then I just open it. Again, I'm left-handed, and actually I could spin it around, but either way. And I'm just finger pressing or stiletto pressing this open. And I like to push it away from me here, and easier with my fingers. It's a cool little tool, but I get impatient a lot. So it's finger pressed. And so let me show you. So kind of hard to see, but I feel like I did a good job. So see this space right here? This right here is just excess glue that sort of spilled over when I was applying it. But watch this. All you have to do is get your rag and just wipe it away, or don't bother with it because it'll come out when you wash your project. But you can see here's another area here. And now, so now what you see is that glue is gone. Just that easy. So let me step over here. I'm going to press it, flatten it out, and then I will show you the finished result. So I just press from the top, and I don't have my clapper, but you'll get the idea. What iron do you guys use? I have right now I'm using this steam fast iron without water. But what type of iron do you guys use? Because I'm thinking about getting, what's that popular one everyone has? I want to upgrade, but I think I'll just wait until this one breaks. This one, I've been using this steam fast iron for 3 years. It hasn't broken yet. So once it breaks, I'll upgrade. I know that Aliso makes a smaller one like this. I've heard mixed emotions or mixed replies, opinions about Aliso iron. So what do you guys use? And I am going to do this here, and then we will be done. We'll be finished with that. So let me show you this. Let's see, what do you guys say? All right. So Love Puck says, I like my quilts to have an overhang after I launder it. So I guess that's in between what I call, oh, okay. Okay, cool. So between the king and the queen. Great. That's perfect. That gives me perspective. Thank you. And then Marsh says, if you have room, you would get the 12-foot frame. Oh, you have the 12-foot and sometimes challenged to load a king size quilt and you do a lot of queen. Oh, I know. I do have the room. I do have room for the 12. I really do. Yikes. Okay. I will consider that, my quilty friend. Thank you. Having a long arm will be awesome. S. Lopez says, yes, I'm excited about it. Let's see. Bettina says, $10 iron from Walmart, Black & Decker. I heard that. You know, there's some people are very territorial about the iron that they use. So that's why I'm asking them, is it just me that kind of doesn't care? But I see Bettina doesn't care much either. I shouldn't say it. I'm sorry. Bettina is not into brands because she has the one from Black & Decker. You're not all into Aliso or Laura Star or all those fancy ones that are really expensive. Let's see. Ivy Bichon says, I have a travel size Aliso. Okay. The first one that doesn't have the auto off. Okay. Do you like that one? Okay. And then Jenny says, you're the same as Bettina, Black & Decker from Walmart. All right. Okay. Cool. And then let's see. Love Puck says, I use the mini Cricut. Oh, now that's an idea. You love it because it doesn't have any steam vents. Okay. It's a smooth surface like the vintage iron. Oh, that's a good idea. Bettina says she can't afford the fancy ones. I hear you, because they are pricey. So let me show you the results here. Ta-da! Here, well, let me use this because it's better. There. Check that out. Now, here where I pressed it, I was rushing. I would typically go back in and press that, put a little starch and flatten it out. But these are the results. And here's the back side. And I think it came out pretty good. That's what it looks like. And so if we were to finish all 4, you can imagine what it would look like. It would look like the picture. It would look like, this is what it looks like when it's finished. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Love Puck says that she uses the Cricut. I use it for pressing by your workstation, and you use your Rowena steam iron for overall steaming. Okay, Rowena. I think that's a brand I've heard of too. And then Rowena. Rowenta, yes, that is the brand. I'm like, hey, Rowenta, yes, that is the brand. Okay, well, let me show you it again. And there you have it. So again, if you're interested in this bob die, I think it's cool. Again, I have the 9-inch cube set, and so that's why I purchased it. But as you can see, it is an easy to piece bob. Bettina says, what die did I use? This is the glorified 9-patch bob, and it fits through the Go Me. Let me show you the die. Hang on, let me grab it. This is the die. So this is what it looks like. And with one pass through whatever cutter you're using, you can cut all of your pieces. So I'm going to reverse engineer it. So this is the die. There's an A, B, C, and a D. And then this is when you piece together and you have the units. So this is element A, and then these are B's, and then these are C's, and then the black one is the D. So let's see. So it look like this, and then these are these ones. I'll show you in a second the close up. Okay. So this is your element D as in dog. These are the B's, B as in boy. This is the A. There's just one A, and then these are the C's. And so these are what the elements look like when they come off the die after you cut it. And let's see here. All right. So that's the die. It is the glorified 9-patch. And S. Lopez says you have the cordless Panasonic. It's older, but it still works great. Okay, Panasonic, cool. And then let's see. Oh, thank you, Tria. Cool looking block. Yeah, I like it actually. I gifted it, so I don't have it. I made a baby quilt with this die actually. And at first I was like, this is not really a pattern for a baby quilt, but it came out really cool. So let's see. That's it, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, this is using the glorified 9-patch bob by AccuQuilt and the acorn piecing glue to create these curves that are stress-free, easy, and will give you much success. I will see you guys next Sunday, of course. This Thursday, I will be doing my normal translation block, and maybe by next Sunday, we will have an update as to which long arm I am going to purchase. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you. My pleasure. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye, my quilting friends.